Hey everyone! Thank you so much for tuning in to this new and sweetest mini-series here on Nom Talk. I am your host, Michelle, and welcome to Short But Sweet, a super short show where a guest and I show you our own take on a holiday treat, and afterwards share our thoughts on each other's sweet creations. For this week, we are making holiday kebabs, and I would love to introduce to you our guest, Raven!
Hey, this is Raven, aka Dame Red Bento. Let's do this!
So for the first video, we are going to watch a condensed version of Raven's kebabs.
Hey, it's Raven. So today we're gonna do a holiday kebab. So we've got peanut butter, crumbs from a cake that I'd been working on, some chocolate, homemade honeycomb, couple of different types of melting chocolate, and we brought in some gingerbread dough. So first, I'm gonna take the dough and warming it. And I'm gonna make them into little trees. To the double boiler, we're gonna add melting chocolate. As we let our chocolate melt, we're gonna put that over our cake dome, and that will create like a little half snowball that we get to decorate. I've got about half a dozen green melts.
Cute.
I'm going to make a truffle, which basically you take nice, cold, thick chocolate ganache. I have a decently good round. I'll round it up just a little bit more and throw it quickly into the freezer. Okay, so we got a little bit of honeycomb. Basically, we're just gonna crunching it down until I've got some nice big crunchy pieces. And then I take my truffle and gently get it nicely covered. My gingerbread is perfectly easy to peel off and crunch on. Really nice truffle. The honey gives it that little bit of sweet that I need. The white chocolate's really nice. And this is my own homemade ginger cake. So it's really nice, very festive. Overall good flavors, much harder to construct than I ever thought it would be. I think I'll do this in the future, but I'm gonna have to refine my technique a lot. Thank you so much. Bye.
Oh my gosh, I love it. That was literally short but sweet. Tell me about it. How's your experience for your first ever holiday dessert kebab?
I made it 3 separate times. It was
Really?
one of the hardest things I've ever done. The Christmas tree was always the failing point. I could make the little half snowball, not a problem. I could make the little truffle, not a problem. But it was delicious failure on so many levels.
I think it was so smart that you made the tree like that with like stands. Yeah, I love the dimension in that. And I love how you made literally like homemade stuff. I just love truffles, so I was so excited you were gonna make truffles.
And basically it's just half a cup of dark chocolate or semi-sweet chocolate and like maybe a tablespoon or so of cream. Even with the failures, it was so much fun.
That was so nice. I love the decoration and how you started like a dome into a tree and then something small. I think that was so cute.
Honestly, I think once I get my technique refined a little bit more, I might actually do a Christmas ornament dango. So yeah, for the viewers out there who don't know what dango is, it's those little multicolored rice cake balls that you get in Japanese markets that are just so delicious.
I really loved all your components in there, and it's so versatile, right? Like you could put anything. You put fruits, you could put any type of dessert.
First couple of versions, I actually put pomegranate seeds into my truffles. So when you bite into them, you get that tart explosion and that little bit of crunch.
Great job, Raven.
Thank you.
That was awesome. It was so cute.
I love making things, but also I don't mind being the one who fails so that I learn from it. And so maybe other people who've had the same issue also learn from watching me not quite succeed.
I honestly had a lot of trials with mine too, and you will see. So we'll see that right now. Hey everyone, Michelle here. Today we will be making Christmas themed dessert kebabs. We're gonna take our favorite chocolate cookies, condensed milk, and powdered sugar, chocolate chips, marshmallow, and 2 graham crackers. Next, pandan flavored Rice Krispies. After making these 3 treats, put them into toothpicks and barbecue sticks. Be creative when making your dessert kebabs and add everything that you're craving. Let's go ahead and do a taste test.
Oh my god.
I really love the semi-sweet for the Rice Krispie because it's not too entirely sweet. Plus the coconut shaving is really good with the young coconut flavored Rice Krispies. The Munchkin ball was really good. It tasted just like a brownie. Honestly, that was just a deconstructed s'mores. I really love the marshmallow. It reminds me of camping. I think kids would love that the most. Making these treats, it really reminded me of homemade ornaments or decorations. It's not perfect, but it gives you that homey feel. I hope you guys love this sweet treat. I'll see you again on the next Short But Sweet.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness, what did you think?
That looked amazing. I want to eat that. So you made it pandan flavor, the Rice Krispies.
Oh. Yeah, you're familiar with pandan, right? It's always like pandan ubi for Filipino flavors. So I had this whole craving of making pandan ubi bread during this quarantine. And so I remembered that and I was like, that would be perfect because it's green and it has a young coconut flavor. And then to top it off, I added the shavings on top because it looks like snow on a Christmas tree. The flavors just burst and you can't go wrong with Rice Krispies. I did have trouble because I wanted to make edible cookie dough, but it just hardened way too fast because I chilled it in like a metal bowl. It was still cute anyways, and I made like little itty bitty ones.
Yeah, I actually know something about like Filipino food and Indonesian food. There used to be one kind of near me, like a little food fair every weekend. And so, yeah, they introduced me to pandan and I could taste the flavor in my mouth. I'm like, oh, that sounds so good. And the deconstructed s'more, that was freaking brilliant. Have you ever thought of adding like a drop or two of liquid smoke to like a vodka or flavorless alcohol and just give it like 1 or 2 spritz of the graham crackers, then crunch them up and dip them, and that way you get that little bit of campfire flavor? I could absolutely see that being served at like a family get-together or potluck or something like that. God.
So for next time, if you make like a brand new kebab, what would you do? What would you put on it?
I think a ruby chocolate truffle with maybe like a little bit of caramel or something in the middle of it. I would definitely still do that dark chocolate ganache truffle as well because that just was so delicious and tasty. I would love to do another cake pop, a gingerbread cake pop with like a white chocolate shell, but then like dust it with some honeycomb like what I had, maybe some sort of like a coarse sugar and a touch of salt.
I would honestly make gelatin and use a mold to make little cute, maybe like candy canes. You could add like little gummies on there, brownies, and fudge. Like a caramel fudge. That just sounds so good. I just love listening to all the ideas. Thank you so much for being my guest.
Thank you so much for inviting me to do this. For as much problem as it was, I absolutely loved it and enjoyed it. Making things makes me happy.
Everybody check out all of her desserts, all of her dishes.
I am Dame Red Bento on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch. I have found amazing people like yourself who are just having like making cooking fun and like getting passion back to people by doing stuff like this. So thank you so much.
I'm so excited for everybody to see how you made your kebabs. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Short But Sweet. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.